Hawks lose 3-1 to the Minnesota Wild. Today, Lakeinen was in net for your Chicago Blackhawks today in Minnesota, and Lakeinen actually played like Lakeinen of last year. Very strong in net and made some big saves. The Hawks defense was the issue for two of the three goals in this game. One of the goals being an empty net goal. Defensive liabilities. And this was with the de-pairing of Eric Gustafson, who should not be in the lineup every night, and Steph Jones. They had two defensive lapses, and it led to the Wild taking advantage and scoring. And it led to them winning the game that way. The Hawks did get a goal. They tied it up, and, well, pretty much that was it. The Hawks today's effort offensively, defensively was weak. Minnesota was just putting it on to Lakeinen, where Lakeinen had to play strong in net. It was a tough game to watch. From puck drop to final horn, the Hawks were just out of it. It sucks because we know what's coming pretty soon. More trades to come because just yesterday the Blackhawks traded away Brandon Hagel to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I expect more trades to be happening within the next 48 hours because trade deadline is 2 o'clock on Monday. So this sucks. Total shots on net for each team, 34 for the Wild, 22 for the Hawks. We had three players make their Blackhawk debut, one being an NHL debut, and two being Blackhawks debuts. Taylor Radish, Boris Kachuk, and then Alex Vlasic making his NHL debut. They all looked good in their debut in the Hawks sweater. Vlasic was limited on time on ice, being a defenseman making his NHL debut. I expected that to happen. We saw Kachuk have a couple opportunities to get a chance for the Hawks to score. Didn't happen. And Radish got a chance to move around in the lineup, playing with Kane a couple of times, playing with DeBrincat and Strome a few times. He got to move around quite a bit. So let's get into the goals of the game, shall we? In the first period, I would say the first period of play was the Blackhawks' best effort in this entire game. They were moving the puck well, getting opportunities off. Then the Wild got a chance where they were moving it in. It was a little bit back and forth hockey. And well, at 16:36 in the first period, Frederick Gaudreau beats Kevin Lakeinen for his 9th of the season, assisted by Kevin Fiala and Merrill of the Wild to make it a 1-0 game for Minnesota. What happened here? Jones and Gustafson were in the D zone. Gustafson tried to pitch up and tried to make a defensive play. Gets it to Gaudreau, and Gaudreau beats Lakeinen. So, 1-0 Wild. We go to the second period, and no goals were scored in the second period, but it was all Minnesota. They ended up putting on a total shots on net of 12, but they had the offensive zone time from the first puck drop of the puck in that second period. They were moving the puck well, getting it into the Hawks zone, keeping the Hawks on their heels, and we could not get it out of the zone. Minnesota was cycling, getting shots off, Lakeinen making huge save after huge save, trying to keep this game a 1-0 game to keep the Hawks in it. Lakeinen does so, and we go to the third period down by a goal still. But in the second period, the Hawks barely had any momentum going. They were on their heels. They looked like they didn't know how to play hockey, and frankly, they were terrible at it. They didn't look confident at all in their D zone, in the neutral zone, or in the offensive zone. There was issues from everywhere in that second period. The Hawks just could not do anything. Yes, the Hawks managed to put up 7 shots on net, but for the longest time, probably till the 8 to 7 minute mark in the remaining in the second period, the Hawks only had 2 shots on net in that period. There is an issue. So we ended up getting 7 shots, but we now go to the third period, still down by a goal, with Minnesota still pressing, keeping the Hawks on their heels. And well, it was looking like it was going to be much of the same of the second period, where the Wild were just pressing the Hawks in the defensive zone, but then something happened. Boris Kachuk gets a breakaway, and then it sparks the Hawks. Kachuk couldn't bury it, but the Hawks get a little bit of momentum. Well, and it happens. At 8:57 in the third period, to tie the game, scored by number 4, Seth Jones, breaking a 35-game goalless drought. This was his 4th of the season, and it was assisted by number 88, Patrick Kane, and number 17, Dylan Strome, to tie this game up. This goal by Jones was a beauty. It was a great pass from Kane, getting it across the ice to Jones, and Jones just wristed it past Cam Talbot of the Wild, and we are tied. That's good to see. The Hawks now are tied up. Maybe they can get this thing where they get a point out of it. Okay, so we're tied 1-1, but it's not enough. The Wild come back, get their attack going, moving the puck well, have a power play, killed that, and then the Wild capitalize. With just 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in regulation time, the Wild score, and it's by former Blackhawk and Chicago native Ryan Hartman, who's having himself a career season, his 25th of the season, assisted by Matt Zuccarello and Kirill Kaprizov. This goal was just another defensive zone fall apart. The Hawks looked like they didn't know how to play defense, and it let Lankinen out to dry, and Lankinen leaves basically an open net for Hartman because there was zero defense in that fall, where the Hawks just let Ryan Hartman break past a goal past Lankinen. So we're down by a goal once again, and Ryan Hartman has the game go ahead, and well, the Hawks pull Lankinen with 2 minutes 30 seconds remaining, and the Hawks were able to hold the Wild from getting the empty netter, but the Hawks also were not getting into the O zone until 1953 in the third period. Hawks get the puck down to the offensive zone, and well, Greenway of the Wild scores an empty netter, throwing the puck down 200 feet down the ice to make it a 3-1 Wild win, and that's the game. This was also Pat Foley's final road game in the broadcast booth for your Chicago Blackhawks, which sucks to say. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on today's game, and the deadline's still coming, and there's another game tomorrow, so maybe the Hawks can find a game to play against the Jets. So thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget, on Monday I will have a live stream all day for trade deadline, and thank you again, and we're in for a long rebuild.